So Sunniva has just taken this assessment case on a walk. Pretty impressive just getting the leash on him, and he was a little scared upon greeting.
Yes, fearful, aggressive. He lunged at me several times, but backed off when I moved towards him. Tried to lunge again several times, but in the end he gave in.
Mm-hmm.
He nipped at me, but didn't go for the bite.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just walked a little bit just to get to know each other briefly.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really just a chill dog, but he's very fearful, and he's feeding off of. He's trying to protect his owners because they're not being his leaders. So he's trying to protect them and be their leaders.
Mm-hmm.
He's I was passed by dogs and people, and he showed no reaction when I was walking him. So now he's, we're pals.
Yeah.
So let's go to his owners.
Okay.
As you see, he's now fearful of you.
A little bit. But not to put it lightly, upon entry.
It's not that he hates strangers or hates children, he's afraid of them, right? So his lunging is because he's afraid. He's trying to chase them away, but he's not trying to kill them, which is goodness, right? Because it means that rehabilitating him is not going to be as hard. It would be way worse if he went for the kill, in which case he wouldn't have backed off. He would have been stuck to my leg.
He bite you? Like
No. He nipped at me. He's just basically saying, go away. But we met strangers. I just took him for a walk. We just walked a little bit down the road. He pooped in the middle of the road. And then I sat down and I found that he wasn't interested. He was still afraid. A little bit timid. He didn't want to look at me. But so we walked a couple more minutes until when I sat down, he actually sniffed me, and I let him, sniff my hand. At that point, I could pet him, and we were friends, right? So, and we met dogs, we met people, we met joggers. He didn't do anything. So this process is going to be largely centered around you guys, changing your energy so that you can help him. Because you don't have to put him down. But if he goes to the shelter, he will be put down. Because they can't adopt that as an aggressive dog. And that's the way they're going to perceive him, because he'll be scared going there. So just so you know that that's what's going to happen to him if he ends up there. But he is a good dog. Yeah. It's a very So I really like him, and I think that there's definitely hope, and I'd like to help you. Yes, you can go say hi to them.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very smart dog. He likely needs a lot of mental work. Like, he needs a job, not just running, because he can likely run all day, and it won't be a problem. And he'll be tired physically, but his brain will still be going. Especially important with fearful dogs, that their brain is tired.
how can we socialize him with people without putting them in risk?
that you will have to be confident, and I would not, socializing him does not mean letting him out at the dog park. It'll mean walking him in areas with other people and not letting him walk on a long leash in front of you. See, now he's backing up in front of you, right? So what you gotta make him realize is that you guys are his leaders and not vice versa. Because if you feel that way, then he will listen to you, and he can't attack anyone that you haven't said attack first, right? So that's the thing. We don't have time to do that now, but we could. I could show you more in person. What's your suggestion, Jared, to do? How to do this? Something fun? He would still be uncomfortable, right?
Right.
So he needs to first associate it with something good. So maybe, put it on, pet him, treat after, whatever it is that he enjoys. He looks to be a social dog that would like petting as a reward, right?
My dream is really for him to be like, when the strangers approach, he waggles his tail, and he's very happy.
Mm-hmm.
And the same with kids, because we are planning to have family, and I know he's going to be with us a long time.
Mm-hmm. It means a lot of work, He is a fearful dog, and so it means that the rehabilitation is to make him confident in himself, confident enough to let other people won't bother him. He said he's a Border Collie Springer Spaniel.
Mm-hmm.
Border Collie is a breed which can very easily get behavioral issues because it's made to work 12 hours a day, right? And they're smart. So they tend to sometimes become nervous because they're so high-strung. They have a lot of energy, right? So it'll be satisfying his physical needs, his mental needs, as well as building his confidence and changing the way you are around him. That's basically it. But it's not necessarily as easy as it sounds. But so don't be discouraged if you now go out tomorrow and think, okay, basically everything's solved because I now know what to do. Because he's not going to miraculously love children, even though you know how to treat him, right? Because he may have been beaten, kicked, sat on, thrown stuff at by children. Who knows, right? Nobody knows if nobody knows his past. So you got to start by making him ignore the children, but it's very hard. Children aggression is hard because you don't want to put children at risk while rehabilitating.
Mm-hmm.
So we could make out a plan as to how to do it. Step one is not that. Put him in with a child and help everything.
Follow him maybe from the kindergarten.
Yeah, just let him loose and see what happens. No, so yeah, but basically what I can tell you today is there is hope. He is rehabilitable. It's definitely not a case that should go to euthanasia.
Are there ever cases that should be euthanized?
I personally don't think so. Unless there's something physically wrong with them. They could have, some dogs actually have like tumors on their brains, like humans can get. So that's the only cases that I think you should give up on, only because it's physical.
Now, he doesn't like the gentle leader. We tried it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was my fault because he chewed it, and then when he has it on the head, he gets on the ground. So this not good?
Well, it can work. I personally, the reason why I don't use him is because that if he's in front of you and he's a fearful dog, like the dog in front is the dog that has the lead. If you know, like sled dogs, the dog in front is always the lead. Always. Telling the rest where to go. So if he's in front, he's in charge. So basically, he's in front, a child is coming, he may look to you, but you're behind him. So he realizes that he has to make the decision, and since he's afraid of children, and he thinks they're scary, his choice for the pack is to chase away the child. Go away. Right? So that's the reason why when I had him on my side like this, walking, never in front, is that I say, you know what, we're meeting someone over there, but I'm in charge and I'm telling you it's nothing to worry about. You just listen to me follow my lead. And when then I meet people, I am completely calm, because if I'm worried for a second, he's going to sense it. So if he barks, it's because you're worried or unsure. You can guarantee that, because he's that sensitive, right? So that's...
He will listen to commands, he will sit, whatever, but he will not be as,
Yeah, he can listen to commands and not be submissive. It's not... So but you don't believe in yourself, so he doesn't believe in it. If you believed you could do it, he would believe you could do it. And that's the thing, because he can sense... You can be like, I have a 5-year-old daughter who can walk in with our pack of dogs back in Sweden, 5 big ones, with a hot dog. She did this when she was 3, and she said no, and none of them did anything, right? But my mother, who's had dogs for 30, 40 years, could not do the same thing. It has to do with what you feel yourself. So my little daughter, she believes in herself. She knows she can do it. There's nothing that can stop her. So the dogs just listen to that. But my soon-to-be 60-year-old mother does not have the same authority, right? So that is the thing that's what you need to work on.
Okay, I'm gonna work on it, definitely. He's such a little dog.
So the thing with him is you don't need to be physical or anything for him to listen. You know, I never touched him before I petted him.
Right.
So that was the first thing. So you don't have to be physical, you don't have to raise your voice, it's just in your energy. So if you get angry, that's a weak energy too. So anger is not a good thing, fear is not a good thing, anxiety is not a good thing, doubt is not a good thing. What you need around him is one thing, and that's confidence. You stay calm and balanced. That's what he needs. And it's going to be a long process, but I'm just saying that it's possible. So, do you have his... and I'll take this leash off. Good boy.
Okay, restarting there. Got cut off, and I think it just finished discussing once we'd got up to the long day, once we'd gotten up to the apartment and the situation with the dog. So I'm not sure if final comments and I think where do you think the rehabilitation potential lies here, and what's important for folks to think about?
You know, for rehabilitation to work, then everybody involved has to be on the same page, which means that the couple, in this case, have to be on the same page. It's hard work, it takes time and commitment, and realizing that it doesn't happen overnight, it's a slow process. What the humans have to do in a rehabilitation process with their dog is to totally detach from the situation. I mean, you cannot feel any kind of weak emotions about the dog. You can't feel sorry for the dog. You can't feel guilty. You just got to see it as you're helping the dog. It has to be socialized, but you have to take consideration to. I hope I stress that enough. The people around, that if they are fearful that he will bite a stranger when they're out walking, they need to use a muzzle on him, and they need to hold him on a short leash and close by, and don't let him loose at the dog park, even though he's fine with other dogs, most other dogs and other adults. When he's off leash, then I still don't think they should take the chance, because it is a dog that is bitten, and it should be kept words, English, should be kept restrained.
Yeah.
And you know, if it had reacted, they said it had started becoming possessive of toys at the dog park, and that could result in that dog getting severely injured if it becomes, because it's not a dominant dog with a very strong energy. It's a fearful dog and can get bit by other dogs. you know, because they will not approve of this behavior. And a dominant, confident dog would not allow that.
So rehabilitatable situation if time, resources, and other variables are in place. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. We brought that to their consciousness, and we have some people that help out in cases like this when the alternative is possibly having to put the dog down if we believe it's rehabilitatable, and then it falls back on the owners. Do you have the time and commitment? And that's kind of where we're at today. Can I ask you this? Why would this take you 9 months or 12 months of sessions?
No, I believe that what I really want to do, or what we want to do together, is to empower the humans, the owners, so that they can do it themselves. I'm not coming in there and saying that I can do something that they can't. I'm coming in there to tell them that they can do this on their own, and I can help them and showing them how to do it and what to do and support them and back them up. But they need to do it, because to rehabilitate a dog you do need 24/7 attention, and unless the case is a really, really, really bad one, the ones that we want to take to our second chance center, because you just can't do it in the home. And unless it is that bad of a case, they could do it themselves and should do it themselves.
Right.
Because it's going to empower them. They'll come out of it, if they are willing to change themselves, they'll come out of it changed, and they will have seen that, hey, we could change this dog because we changed ourselves.
Right.
And it's very, very empowering situation.
Extremely empowering. Yeah. So fewer sessions, I think, would be safe to say, is the Solgave method or methods that you're using.
Yeah, it could be one session with it could be, I guess, more, but I want to keep it as few as possible, because the fewer session needed, the better job I do.
Right.
At least the way we work.
Right. I think particularly when you're tied to these heavy cases that continue to come our way, you could spend a year on well, I was going to say mid-level cases or yeah. Perhaps that's not coming out right. I think what I'm trying to get at is that with Sunniva's approach and our approach to the training practices and the philosophy of Solgave is about doing as much as possible in a minimal amount of sessions needed for sustained results. And until the solution is met, people are still getting emails and phone calls, and as many sessions that are needed. Not to say some may need 4, 8, 12, 16. I think it'd be highly unusual to see it go months. It would be it's not really.
What I want to say is that if I go somewhere and I help someone for, say, a session of an hour and a half or whatever, or 2 hours, and they don't feel like it's helping, then I want them to contact me back, and I want to make it right. I want to. That is also how I can learn from a situation. If it doesn't work the first time, okay, then we try something new. We try something different. Maybe I didn't read the dog well. Maybe I'll get in someone, friends of mine, dog people, to see and assess the situation. I'd always want to. I'd always want to help out, I guess, for it to work. And if I can't do it on my own, then I'm going to ask for help. And I don't want people to give up, and I won't give up on any case. So that's why I would want the follow-up. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
That's the way I learn, they learn, and
there is no failure if everybody stays in it, and that part of it may take a while. But as you said, it's really about empowering the owners and staying in touch with them through the rehabilitation they're doing via the techniques and processes you've taught, and the empowerment from a personal perspective that comes with that after the dog is rehabilitated or brought back into balance, which that usually happens fairly quick. But what's harder is the sustained work, the life changes, as Sunniva said, that come from the human side.
Because it doesn't happen overnight,
Right.
compare it to humans, rehabilitation for humans does not go overnight either. So to expect it to happen like that for a dog is just not feasible. It's gonna take time, but you gotta believe in progress, and you gotta see that you as a human, as the dog's pack leader, has a very big role in its rehabilitation, and it's essential. The human is essential. Without the human changing, the dog can't change. You know, you could take a dog out of a home, rehabilitate it, put it back into the same situation, and the dog would go back to the same destructive behavior. It would not have made any difference.
Right.
Same happens with humans, right? There needs to be a fundamental change.
Yep. Well said. That's the nuts and bolts of it. All right. That's the assessment of the assessment, and we'll see you guys again soon. And if there's an update on this one, we'll let you guys know. Thanks.